Alright then, so where are we now? So what I've done is I've managed to put the brake boost in, the brake master cylinder, the clutch master cylinder, around the wire up. I strapped down the wiper motor. I've put the oil feed kit in here. I started putting the lines in here as well, and also the pedal box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the pedal box is. A little trick to get it in, because if you've done a car where you've gotten this front kick plate done and you go to put the pedal box in, sometimes it might not line up. It just won't match up, and the problem is though, you can get away with it for the booster, because at the end of the day the bolts go through and you nut it on from the back, so you could play with it a bit, or if you had to bore the hole a little bit bigger, you can get away with that. This one you don't, because that bolts right into the actual foot pedal. So there's a little trick to get it done. So what I do is I take two 5/16 bolts, and what I do is I usually start in the middle here, and I'll put a 1/4 inch, an extra long one in, and that allows me then to reach over, and granted it's a lot easier to do when there's no windscreen. It allows me to reach over and actually pull it in and actually just get a grip in it, just line it up so it can hang, and allows me to come back to the front, that I can then start working here. Now if you obviously have the windscreen on, then I'd suggest you get somebody else to do that for you. Now, like I said, once that's hanging there, I said instead of trying to do all these in, because then it will mix match, I'll take the two 5/16 bolts and I'll actually put it in, and I'll actually thread them all the way in until the point of almost like a spark plug. I'll put them into the hand tight, but instead of like the 1/4 turn tighter, I'll do a 1/4 turn looser to allow that it's in, it's lined up, but there's still a bit of movement to allow this to move. And what I'm going to do is, I was doing a video, and unfortunately I got a phone call midway through, so I'm going to show you a screenshot, hopefully, of what it looked like when I was doing it. So here's a screenshot. Alright, so you can see what it looks like. It's quite simple. Just put the bolts in, and then once them bolts are in the lines up, I'll basically hold it and I'll put these in one by one, and then that will line up the pedal box for this mainly, and like I said, you have a bit of play on this. So that's really it, and then when it's all said and done, I'll just take them back out, and then obviously I'll go in through this. So other than that, that's all I've really achieved today. A little bit of a slow day, because I've been trying to chase the little bits of the parts where I've had them. I've had them put away, and I'm trying to change a few bits and pieces. Like I put this in, but I'm trying to change, like example, the fuel. I have the clutch connected up. I have this going in, and I only want to do so much because I still have the actual steering column to go in, and I know at some point when I go to put it in, something's going to get in the way and I'm going to have to take something off to put it back in. I know, I just don't know what point it's at, but if I put the steering column in, that gets in the way. So right now I think what I'm going to do is, apart from actually doing it, I'm going to get I want to find, because I have to find the little brackets here that actually, oh, here comes the train again, that hold the pipe down. It's a little clamp that screws down in here. I have to go find that, and it's so small, God knows where I put it. Yes, here goes the choo-choo. Other than that, what I'll do is I have to find the union, and then so I can join it up. I'm going to have a cloth here because I felt like it may drip. It's pretty much empty, but just in case it drips, I don't want brake fluid going onto the fresh paint. So I had a rag there, and I still have the rag, and I'm going to put it back down. So when you see me installing it, you'll see why I had that rag. That was for that purpose. So now I have to go find the union, because it's mixed in. There's boxes everywhere, so the parts are all spread around. Yeah. Alright, so what I'll do is I will throw up a little fast forward of me putting in the bits and pieces so far to get to this point, and we'll continue on from there. So yeah, again, roll on the high speed. Okay, so welcome back to the car. Alright, so there again I've moved some more forward, so you see what I've done up to the last point. So I've progressed on some more. I've had a few more things in, so the lines for the oil cooler have gone in, the fuel I've looked after, the fuel pump has gone in. I sorted out the fuel line across, put the thermostat in, and I have done the emergency release one. So if you want to see how I done this one, it won't be on this video. I have a separate video on how to install this, and again it's based on the installation of the one we sell here at Planet 6 Parts. So if you get one from different vendors, they may be different, you may get different parts. I don't know if they act the same, but that's how this one gets installed. So other than that, I still have to find a few bits and pieces that I've gone missing over time. The exhaust manifold is pretty straightforward, but I'm going to look for, because this car is going to get some twin 40 DCOE side drafts. I'm pretty sure they're 40 or 45. I'm pretty sure they're 40s. The problem you like that is that it gets so close to here, it may bump. So what I'm going to do is seeking to find the early manifold. It's the one from basically 69 to 72, and it's shorter, and it'll gain me at least an inch, if not an inch and a half, of clearance. Although they're getting few and far between at this stage, so to pick that up. But yeah, the engine bay is starting to fill up now. I always feel like this side is always bare. So yeah, as I said, all new, nice, shiny parts going in. It's starting to look like a spaghetti junction in there now at this stage. And I still have the steering column to get in, although it's not going to be the worst, because if you look at it, I just basically have to get down here, so it's not the worst of it. I'll probably do want to get that in before I start doing the wiring for the electric fan, only because then it starts getting really compact. So yeah, it's getting there. I think obviously a bit forward space. I have to clean all this. Okay, I'll be all fixed up in the end, because that's only pushed on just loose, just the hole there. Yeah. I can start doing a bit more. I still have to find these though. I don't know where the union has gone. I have a funny feeling maybe the body shop might have taken them out, because I can't find them. And if I can't find them, I probably didn't. I'll see. Maybe I took them out and moved them in with some other parts. But yeah. So that's where I am for the moment. And like before, what I'll do is I will do some high speed of what I have done so far. Not everything is going to be in it. For example, you won't see where I put this in, because I realized I didn't hit record. That was pretty straightforward though. That's just when I got the fuel pump in, I simply connected it in. I did change this part though, because I had this put down, and I swapped out when I put this thermostat in, and I put this piece in because it allows it to sit up here. Sometimes the fuel line actually runs down here pretty close to the fan belt, which I'm not a fan of. It's a little unit that actually, this bolt here, I believe, or is it this one? One of them, I forget which one it is now. One of them has a little tab that sticks out that goes around, and it basically runs through it. I prefer this, which is more common in the late model. So the 75, 76 has this, and it has two little clips for the evaporation system that come down. This doesn't have it, but I thought I'd throw it on because it's keeps it up and away, and it's a much nicer, cleaner looking look to it. I'll probably end up having to bend this because it depends which way the carburetors are sitting in. That's really it for now. There's grease all over that for some reason. Yeah, like I said, it's starting to take shape. Some interesting stuff to do in this car. Yeah, still. This car here is going to be one of them that's going to have the Tr6 steel, well, the aluminium or aluminum, whatever you want to call it, radiator. They come both in black and stainless steel. Again, these parts will be available from Planet 6 Parts. If you're watching this prior to Ancaster 2024, we will have them there. We'll have some for you to see. If you want to order them, there is a discount if you go to Ancaster, because it's the start of the year, and we'll probably end up doing the same somewhere around the British Car Show at the end of the year. But it's going to have it, and we're going to go with the black one because I think it's going to tie in a lot better. But yeah, really looking forward to getting all these bits and pieces on it. It's slowly but surely starting to take shape, apart from my green rag that's here. But again, that's just in case I get a drip and I can protect the paint. Alright, so that's it. What I'll do is I shall show you again high speed of what I've done so far, and if that's the end of this part, then I will see you in the next part where we'll move forward and do some more bits and pieces. So as I say in every them, I appreciate people watching. Any comments, questions, concerns, or anything along the line, give me a shout. And if I'm going along, you want to see it in particular, not in high speed as I go along, I'll try my best to do it for you and throw it up there on the website. So that's it. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you hit the subscribe button, and I appreciate all the nice comments that people have said about the work we do here at Planet 6 Parts. So thanks for watching, and enjoy the high speed of progress. Alright, welcome back. So, what do we have in front of us here? Well, we actually have the windscreen frame, or windshield frame, whatever you want to call it. So what we're doing here is we're redoing the inside. So you could get them in the pre-molded sort of pieces. That's most common, that you put them on, you simply glue them, stick them on. Pretty straightforward. However, what we're doing on this one is we are doing actual leather onto it. So it's not easy to do. I'll say it's not easy. The sort of is in a way. Like we'll start from here. We'll do the bottom piece, and then these will go on second because they're going to overlap anyway. And I'd rather have the same equal finish. Sorry, it's upside down. The same equal finish on both sides finishing, than this being slightly off and not looking right. The only other way you can do it is if you glued it on and blade it right across. You could actually have the two of them come off and actually have a smooth finish. However, if you actually look at the real one, or the mold, you'll realise they actually overlap each other. Alright, so I don't know if you want to see me do this in real time. This part is pretty straightforward because this kit, we didn't supply this. This was supplied to me by the customer. To put this on, and I can see one flat piece and one curved. So it's pretty explanatory that the curved follows the windscreen frame. Pretty much down from here, and I'm going to work my way across, and then work my way back. And that's not too hard to do. We'll do it in sections, and I'll make sure it's nice and I don't want to pull it tight, because if I pull it tight you might see a bit too much. I just want to make sure it's smooth more than anything, because most likely when I get to the end here there'll be a bit of blade and there's a bit of excess material. I'm not going to put the material down here where the frame goes, because that's a common problem with doing that. If you do it in too tight, that it actually gets hard to take off. Judging by this, if I was to do this as well, it's not shaped to follow that windscreen frame, because then I'll end up with a load of kinks and curls, I reckon. So it's shaped for this bellow here, because I had looked at it a few times to say will I, won't I, but based on the curvature, it looks like it's definitely made to sit and follow that ridge all the way down. So that's what I shall do. The bottom piece is going to be the hardest. This is going to be the hardest, and the reason why is because we have the 3 clamps that physically, other than these, that actually hold the frame down. That's going to be the hard part, because I have to actually slice. So now I have to figure out where I'm going to go. The easiest route I can have, again, because this is actually new to me, I've never done it with the leather, is I'm going to basically find the midpoint, which would be this. I'm going to put the slit exactly where I want it, and then that will start me from here, and I can work my way across. And at least then I have a starting point that's equal on both sides. Pretty straightforward for anything. This is very big, considering it's only going to cover this little lip here, but I presume it's going to want to come down. So in any case, I'm probably going to end up starting at a midpoint, and I'll mark it. And then I'll just have to judge the distance across and do the same slit. Obviously what I'm going to do is I'm going to purposely do the slits a little short, only because if I overdo it, you can't undo it. If I underdo it and I can't get it over, I can always add that bit more till it sits right in. This is going to be glued on, so obviously again I'm going to be using the 3M adhesive spray, which I find great. Pretty sticky when it goes onto your fingers. So again, the 3M spray, a little expensive, but I find this great. I know there's other sprays out there, but me personally, I find this one good for me. This is how I operate. Alright, so I almost want to do the easy piece first, just to get a sense of getting something achieved, and then moving on to the harder. But at the same time, I almost want to do the harder one first, to know everything else is a doddle after that. So most likely, since I have it up here, I'm going to start up here, and then I have to obviously blade around the holes to allow the hardware to go back on. Alright, so I need to go get a few bits and pieces. If you notice there's no tag in it, it was taken off and it has to get put back on because this got painted. This is actually painted compared to, I know it's meant to be satin black for the later ones. This is actually gloss, so it looks shiny. And yeah, if you want to go with leather instead of that plastic pre-mold that you can get, which actually we provide here at Plant 6 Parts if you need it. Alright, so I guess I will do some high speed, and if I get stuck, I'll slow it down, or if I want to show you anything important that I think that's necessary if you're doing this yourself, then I'll slow it down and then we can look at it at real time. Alright, so I suppose let's get cracking on it. Alright, so top section is on, but obviously cutting these little holes out for the little for these is a nightmare. So I still have to cut this piece out, but I'm gonna wait because I feel another hole down here that I know another screw goes up. However, I want to have a look at the real one just in case, because that's the worst thing about with the leather being on. Once you cut it, there's no going back. So I've done them two for certain, but what I'll do is I'm probably going to I'll have a quick look at the C, because the next one's going to probably come up and overlap and stop somewhere about here. So I want to see how much is going to cut out. I'm going to blade it and just spray it and shove it underneath, or just run it around. So yeah, other than that, it's a smooth finish. I know another one has to go here, and they're hard to cut out because they're so small. Even with a sharp X-Acto blade, it's hard to get right to the corner, and it doesn't come out clean because it's leather as well. Obviously another one down here. But yeah, other than that, it's on pretty good here. So I'll have a quick look at the original frame, and I'll continue, I might as well just do the bottom while I'm waiting first and get that done. So, on with more high speed. Alright, so she's on. So everything was actually pretty okay. The leather is pretty good. I didn't have to heat it or anything. I was trying not to, because whenever you heat it, you'll always get that stretch mark. So I'm trying to leave it as cold as possible. Obviously the only stumbling blocks were up here. I dropped that piece down there, and God, it took me ages to find it. And obviously you can see where the bits of glue spray. That's okay, because what I'll do is eventually, when it's all done and set, I'll go over with a bit of glue remover and I will touch all that up. I still have to cut out the little holes here, the pinholes for the sunva or the rear view mirror. So that one I'll probably end up using, most likely because it's so small, I'll end up using this. Just a little soldering iron, and I'll just heat it up enough and just punch it just to create the hole. And that should solve that and give me a nice hole without ripping into it. I probably should have done it for these, but like, yeah. But overall, it went on pretty good and smooth. Like I said, this is the part you see in here. I know the bottom half doesn't look the great, but you don't see there. But here as well, this is where you see. So you will see that part. Like I said, the sunflower is going to be here. I will clean up in there, and the captain's going to go on top. But overall, that's it. So it's now vinyled. And apart from getting the sticky glue off and the sets, I'll get a bit of glue remover. It'd be ready to go in. And of course, yeah, so the rubber is going to come in here, the window cover. So like any of the edge in here, even though it's good, even though this part's exposed, you won't see it. So it's going to look pretty nice when it's all in and pretty clean. And I left it overlapped. I could have cut it and matched, but like the two of them probably most likely be unequal. So I started from the same spot here. So the two of them have the same ridge line. Here and up here. So I started from the inside and worked out. I thought it was a lot easier than work my way in, just because I would have ended up with more material on the bend, and it's a lot easier to smoothen out a flat surface in the bend. Alright, so that's it. Yeah, I'll continue on with the rest of the pieces. So again, thanks for watching. Appreciate again all the nice comments that people say. Like I said, it makes me feel like I've done a great job, which I'm try my best at the end of the day, really. I mean, and again, if any of this is helpful for you, great. It justifies me doing it if it can help you do the same job. Alright, so that's it for this. And on the next part then, we should have this up. We'll have a new capping on it. I may have the hardware on it. And obviously I'm going to have the glue cleaned up to make it look a little better. And then we might stick it on the car. If not, I have to go dig for some other parts. Alright, again, thanks for watching, and see you in the next part.